This program is brought to you by Dolco Media. Fixing South Sudan, ideas for the new nation. With award-winning journalist Mading Moore.
Absolutely.
Honorable Ashwin, as you can see, the ideas of the initiatives are varied.
On July 8th, the clashes in J1 took place, which was very unfortunate.
Including country-specific ones, which
and the rebellion continue to be
Fixing South Sudan, ideas for the new nation.
Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madengor. This week, we explore the issues connected with the imminent deployment of the International Gateway for South Sudan. What does embracing this technology means for the national operators in South Sudan? What about the consumers, the people? How will the nation benefit from this investment? Is this proposal a good idea for fixing the nation? With us for the interview, Honorable Makuei Lueth, Minister of Information, Communication, Technology, and Postal Services. He is also the official spokesman for the Government of the Republic of South Sudan. We are honored to have him in the show. How are you?
Oh,
Welcome.
fine, thank you.
So we talk of the International Gateway for South Sudan. People don't know about this technology. What is the technology?
Thank you very much, Madingor, for hosting me in Fixing South Sudan, sponsored by Dolco Media, and to talk to the people of South Sudan about the International Gateway. International Gateway is an old idea which was entertained since independence. Before it was supposed to be before independence, but because we were not independent and we were following and abiding by the provisions of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, we had to play it down and it could not be established. After the independence, definitely the idea surfaced and the ministry, by then the Ministry of Telecommunication and Postal Services, managed to buy equipment for the sum of almost $5 million. These equipments were brought, but they could not also be fixed for other technical reasons until these equipments it could not any longer be fixed because they were affected by temperature and other conditions, so they were no longer fit. So we revived the idea and we had to engage a company to bring in new equipments that we have fixed now.
So you revived the idea, you did a bidding, and hopefully it was a competitive bidding?
Well, usually under such circumstances, you don't necessarily to go to competitive bidding, but you go in for single sourcing. Because these are security issues, there is no way you can just advertise it and do all these things. Otherwise, you will bring in a company which you don't trust, a company you don't know, and as a result, you will be in a position, you may fall into other crises.
So the winner...
what we usually do, we invite tenders, and after invitation, they make presentations, and it ends up there. Then we will go to the background of the companies, and thereafter we make a single sourcing.
And the winner is MGI Telecom.
Yes.
Tell us about the company.
MGI Telecom is a German-Swiss company operating in Germany and Switzerland. It is working all over the world. It is one of the leading companies in the field of telecom, and it is running. It actually constructed so many gateways all over the world, and it is a renowned company for that job.
So what is the window for deploying such technology How long will it take before this new technology comes into force?
Well, in fact, it doesn't take time because the equipments that are used are very small equipments. They are quality but small equipments. And because of other technicalities, we could not actually operationalize the gateway. The gateway is actually set up now and is supposed to be operational. And had it not been other obstacles that we face in the implementation, the gateway should have actually been operational at the end of February. But unfortunately, because of some other technical problems, it continued, and by September this year, the gateway was ready to be operational. Now we have done all the tests and so forth, and the only difficulty we are facing now, and we are in the process of resolving it, is to sign the commercial agreement with the operators.
Let's talk about the resistance you're getting, because this is a new system, is going to destabilize or change the mindset of certain people. And this is why we asked in the beginning, what will it mean for the operators? Because first of all, what system has been in operation before we talked about the gateway?
Well, of course, before independence, all the companies, all the operators which were operating here in South Sudan had their gateways. And each company had a connection in its own way with its own gateway, and the government of South Sudan was not in access, was not in a position to access whatever information that it requires from these operators. Not that only, but in terms of security, in terms of even revenue generation, what had been happening all this time is that the operators would operate through their gateways, and when time comes for them to pay the share of the government, they are the ones who come and say, this is your share. We did not have, up to now, we don't have the mechanism for monitoring and knowing the actual revenue from which we are being paid that amount.
There was no transparency.
There's no transparency, and as such, this is what made us to reactivate this idea and come up with the gateway. The traffic, the incoming and outgoing traffic will pass through the gateway. And in the course of doing that, the international gateway will be in a position to monitor and know whatever is happening with any operator.
So security will be enhanced. What are other benefits? You said that you're going to get more revenues.
Well, of course, the two main objectives for the gateway are: one, to security of the nation; two, generate revenue for the country. In fact, the NCA, or this ministry, is supposed to be a leading ministry in terms of revenue generation, especially after the collapse of the prices of oil and the reduction of production. Telecom should have taken lead in terms of revenue generation, but because of the absence of this monitoring mechanism, we could not move a step forward. And this is why we are now in the process of talking with the companies, with the operators, so that we sign with them what is called the commercial agreement, so that their traffic, all the traffic passes through the international gateway.
There used to be talk about exemptions. Is the era of exemptions over?
Well, the only company which was exempted was Vivacell, and Vivacell, its period ended on the 6th of this month, on the 6th of October, and by now, Vivacell is no longer exempted, so they are required to start payment of whatever dues that are to the government with effect from the 7th of this month.
No company will be exempted?
We have not exempted any company so far. It was only Vivacell. And the other company which was exempted was Gemtel. Gemtel was exempted under the presumption that it was a public corporation. Unfortunately, it turned out at the end that Gemtel was not actually a public corporation. And on the other hand, Gemtel has just collapsed for a reason known to the company itself. So Gemtel is no longer there.
Change is hard, it's difficult. So are you getting all the maximum cooperation? You talked about obstacles. What obstacles are you getting?
Well, of course, yes, we are facing difficulties with these operators. Of course, the operators are resisting registering or signing the commercial agreement because they believe that it is intervention in their own affairs. And as such, they are trying to create a lot of obstacles so that they don't sign. On the other hand, we are talking to them, so we have not given up. We are still talking to them, and I'm optimistic that they will definitely sign these commercial agreements so that we go in. The main reasons for them, which they are saying, are that yes, we don't want. Why should we be put under this international gateway at a time when we have our own gateways and so forth? So what we are telling them is that yeah, you are free to use your gateways, but your traffic must pass through the international gateway so that you are regulated, so that we know what you are doing.
Okay.
So that is the situation in which we are.
Let's take a break.
Welcome to Dolco Media Services. We have so many services for you, such as video production, camera hiring, sound system hiring, event management, passport photo, stand-up comedy, printing, drama, music, dance, multimedia, and photography. Dolco Media Services, our culture, our pride.
Welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for the new nation. I am Madingor. With us for the interview is Honorable Makuei Lueth, and we are talking about the international gateway for South Sudan. Welcome back to the interview. So,
thank you.
There are a lot of benefits, even employment, potentially. ICT industry is a huge industry in other countries. You are saying this is going to trigger that now, the development of the ICT sector.
Yes, definitely the IC sector with us here is far behind in terms of standards. We are not in a position to cope up with all this simply because of so many problems, including problems of energy. And at the same time, this sector is one of the most important sectors because with the modern technology now and with the developments, everything is entering through this sector. So we are in the process of at least trying to establish it and cope up with the world on these issues. Definitely, the international gateway, as stated, is one of the gates that will lead us to the world, and with it, we'll be in a position to generate revenue for the government of South Sudan.
And you know, you have declared it in a very ambitious way. You are saying it should be revenue generating to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. Are you saying you are now on track to do that?
Definitely we are on track, and as soon as the companies sign the commercial agreement, definitely we will take lead in the revenue generation.
There have been a lot of frustration from the consumers, the customers for the telecom industry, that the tariffs are too high for the people. Is this new system going to change anything? Will it mean lower tariffs?
Well, of course, for the question of tariffs, yes, it is true the tariffs are high, but they are not so high. What brought about these tariffs appear to be high simply because of the valuation of our currency, the floating of our currency. This is what brought about all this. Otherwise, before the devaluation of the currency, the tariffs were the lowest here in the region. And simply because of the devaluation of our currency, compared to the dollar, definitely the devaluation had to move together so that you keep the balance. What is affecting us is, yes, the dollar is low and the tariffs are high. The tariffs are said to be high simply because they had to cope up with the dollar. But as soon as our economy is fixed, and our currency takes its position among the currencies of the world, then definitely this will automatically be addressed.
How soon is that happening?
Well, I'm not an economist, but what I'm saying that the economic situation will be fixed soon.
And you're saying that the telecom industry can play a role in that, in boosting the revenue?
Exactly. We will be in a position to have an input into the fixing of the economy of South Sudan, if and only if this is done.
Some of the hardest hit companies are the telecom operators, and this is why the tariffs are expensive, and also some of them are going out of business. So with this new system, are you afraid that some of them will simply just wither away?
Well, in fact, they are not hit in terms of of the currency devaluation and so forth, but they are hit simply because of the insecurity, and the insecurity is improving these days. The number of customers, the number of their clients has dropped. This is what actually affected them, not the economic situation, because they are not losing in any way. And this is why we want them to pass through the gateway so that we know exactly whether they are losing or they are not losing. What they want from us, they want us to rely on the report, accept and rely on reports that they give us. And this is not acceptable. We are a government. And if we are a government, then we must have our own mechanism. We must have our own monitoring mechanism so that we compare whatever we have with the reports that they give us. And in so doing, we'll be in a position to know whether these companies are losing or not. But what I know so far, they are not losing, otherwise they would have shut down and go.
Recently, the government announced a partnership agreement with Niletel operator, and many of the telecom, in the telecom industry are saying you are preparing way for Niletel, in which the government has 25% share. This is why, this is your motivation for ramping up the gateway issue.
Well, of course, the gateway issue has nothing to do with the establishment of the Niletel, because the Niletel itself must sign a cooperation agreement with the international gateway. Yes, it is true we have established, we have entered into partnership with Niletel, and the government of South Sudan is 25%, has 25% shares of the company. This is a partnership we have entered, and this will be the only operator that will be operating in collaboration with the government, because we are shareholders in that. This does not mean that the other companies will go anywhere. But if they opt to go out, that will be up to them. But what we are saying is that this is a national operator, and this national operator will be doing national issues in accordance with the policies of the government.
South Sudan embraces the idea of free market. So now you're getting in partnership with one operator. Is that not preferential treatment?
It is a preferential treatment because the people of South Sudan need to be protected. This is something that is not new. It is all over the world. South Sudan is not new in this field. It's not the only country that came up with such an idea. So the idea of a free market economy is not true because there is no absolute free market. This is why you find even in the first world they control the imports of some commodities from other countries. Why do that if it is a free market? So for us here, we have the right to control some of these, especially those that affect the people of South Sudan.
So Niletel will be the new Gemtel, will be the new Vivacell with exemptions?
Not a new Vivacell. It will not be exempted. It will be operational like any other company. We are not exempting it. So it will not be another new Vivacell. Vivacell was exempted because it took over the shares from the SPLM.
Tell us about your shares. They are operating under what they call a marginal share, which is like a loan.
Well, for us, we are actually carried in Gemtel, in what do you call it, in Niletel. We are carried, yes, but we are also contributing in other ways. Our shares are covered by the registration fee, by the issue giving land, by other in kind. So
And
this is what amounts to our shares.
How long is the partnership for?
Well, the partnership will continue as long as it continues to be. We continue to be faithful.
So, what is your vision for Niletel? Why do you think it is important for government to partner with a private?
Well, it is important for the government to partner with the private sector because it is through this partnership that we'll be in a position to protect the people of South Sudan. We'll be in a position to protect them from exploitation by operators and from these high tariffs. We will know exactly what it means because we are not here to benefit that much, but we should get the margin for the benefits. And if the government comes up today with if the thorough studies are conducted and the government issues and agrees to come up with the new tariffs, then definitely these tariffs will apply, and we as partners in the Niletel, we will be the first to implement it.
We talk about fixing South Sudan. Is International Gateway going to fix South Sudan?
Definitely it will fix South Sudan in terms of services. It will generate revenue that will fix the economy of South Sudan. It will provide a window for security, and that is security-wise, it will fix South Sudan. And in terms of services, it will definitely improve the services to the people of South Sudan. So the International Gateway is one of the mechanisms that will be used for fixing South Sudan.
And is fixing South Sudan agenda an achievable agenda, a realistic agenda, a good agenda for South Sudan?
Well, definitely the task of the government all the time is to see how best it can render services to the people of South Sudan. The idea of fixing South Sudan is a good idea. And it will definitely serve the people of South Sudan. It is a good idea in the sense that it will materialize soon. We don't say that it's not that far because fixing it is a process. Because it is not an engine that has gone bad and you take it to the garage and it is out today. But it is a process, and this process has already started. So soon, South Sudan will be fixed economically, security-wise, and in all aspects.
Honorable Michael Makuei, thanks for coming on Fixing South Sudan.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for being on Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor every Thursday on SSBC.